Hello, boys and girls. Today we're going to be looking at the story Mega Monster by David Walliams. This is a new book that he has released and we have purchased for the library. And because of the lockdown, I thought that I might share it with you with this reading. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's have a look. For my darling Alfred, thank you for giving this book its title, I Love You Endlessly, Daddy. And we've got some more thank yous there with all the people that have contributed to the book. Let's have a look at the prologue. Deep in the mists of time, far away from the world we know, in an ancient stone castle. The castle is perched precariously on top of a huge black rock jutting out of a raging sea. The rock is a volcanic island. No one knows for sure when the volcano last erupted or when it might again. The castle is home to a school. Not just any school. A school where the naughtiest children in the world are sent. It's called the Cruel School. There is also zero chance of escape. The island is many miles away from the mainland, and the sea surrounding it is infested with sharks. Hungry sharks who like to gobble up naughty children in one gulp. There are all sorts of horrors at the Cruel School. The teachers are terrifying, the school dinners are revolting, and the lessons will give you nightmares. So read on, but only if you dare. Meet the characters in this tale, the kids. We've got Larka. The hero of our story earned her nickname by always larking about. She just can't help herself. Larka loves silly jokes, and nothing brings her more joy than making everybody laugh. Spod. The great big boy at Cruel School with missing teeth, a broken nose, and a cauliflower ear looks terrifying, but he might just be a gentle giant. Bug. The smallest kid at the school, Bug might be also the meanest. Knuckles. The girl with the biggest fists has an even bigger attitude. Daft. This girl seems to be on another planet as she's always saying the daftest things. Pongo. Pongo delights in being the smelliest kid in the whole school, if not the entire world. Everywhere he goes, Pongo is followed about by a stinky brown cloud. Boom. Boom is a girl who has always got something to say, and that is really loud. Now let's look at the grown-ups. Doctor, the mysterious bird-like science teacher at the Cruel School, has beady eyes, a beaky nose, and her cape flutters behind her like wings. Doctor inspires terror in all the children. Any pupil who is sent to one of her detentions is never the same again. Grunt. Doctor's laboratory assistant speaks only in grunts. Huh? One grunt for yes, two for no. Any more than that and nobody has a clue what he is saying. Not even him. Grunt is completely bald, but wears the most extraordinary wig. The wig is a one-legged cat named Fiend that crouches up on top of his head. Metal. The spooky caretaker is tall and wide with a beard that goes down to his belly button. Metal has the hugest jumbles of keys on his belt. Professor Doctor. Professor Doctor is Dr. Doctor's elderly mother. She has been the headmistress of the Cruel School for as long as anyone can remember, but the strange thing is that no one has seen her for years. Some think that the professor mysteriously disappeared from the school many years ago. Rank. Rank is the school dinner lady from your worst nightmares. She prides herself on serving up food that children can't keep down. Miss Dunk. The Cruel School librarian is infinitely more interesting in biscuits than books. Miss Clomp. Clomp is the horrible teacher from Larka's original school. She hates Larka with all her heart. The Boatman. The boatman is the mysterious hooded figure who transports children from the mainland to the volcanic island where the cruel school is situated. Digits. The math teacher has a metal hand with 6 fingers on it. Digits has 11 digits in total, but he thinks he only has 10, so when Digits counts on his fingers to solve a math question, he is always wrong. It is a pity for his poor pupils who have 0 chance of getting an answer right. Mr. Black. The art teacher with black hair, a black goatee beard, and all black clothes demands his pupils only paint in black. Miss Ball. The sports teacher's games are so rough that afterwards her pupils are sent straight to the sick bay. Mr. Bush. The bearded geography teacher likes to bring the dangers of the outside world inside his classroom. Miss Gibber. The teacher takes classes in a language that she herself invented, called Gabba. The problem is that Gabba is utter nonsense and completely impossible to understand. Any child taking a test in Gabba is doomed to fail. And last but not least, Worms. The grubby gardener is nicknamed Worms. There he is there. As he always has worms in his pockets, he spends most of his time pottering in his shed, talking to no one except his worms. He has spent his entire life at the cruel school, having been a pupil there before he became the gardener. Now we're on to the beasts. Fiend. The evilest cat that ever lived. Fiend has only one eye and one leg. However, on the end of that leg is a paw with the longest, sharpest, deadliest claws you've ever seen. And she is not afraid to use it. Fiend lives on top of Grunt's bald head. Squawk. Squawk is a pelican that is chained to the tallest turret on the castle that is the cruel school. The pelican is a replacement for the school bell that broke many years ago. The bird squawks to signal the beginning and the end of the school day. And finally, the Mega Monster. This creature will remain a mystery for now. So it's time for us to read part 1, Into the Darkness. Chapter 1, Larka. Many years ago, in a land far away from our own, a long wooden jetty reached out to sea. Our adventure begins one night so still it was eerie. The only light was that of the moon, the only sound the lapping of waves against the jetty. Standing on the jetty, silhouetted by the moon, were 2 figures looking out to sea. One was short, the other was tall. The short one was a child. The girl was short for her age, but always got noticed for her magnificently cheeky grin. She was wearing an ancient duffel coat over her torn school uniform. Her boots had holes in them, so many holes, in fact, that it would be easy to say the holes had boots in them. She was an orphan. The girl's name was Larka. It wasn't her real name, but everyone called her Larka, so I will too. Larka was nicknamed Larka because she was always larking about. Why did the octopus blush, she asked, a smile creeping across her face. Not another of your silly jokes, Larka. I hoped you would have learned your lesson, barked the grown-up. She was the tall one, a teacher by the name of Miss Klomp. Klomp clamped a monocle onto her eye. She had a hairstyle that looked as if it had been created with a pudding bowl and a pair of scissors. The octopus blushed because it saw the bottom of the ocean. That's not funny, sneered Klomp. I think you will find any joke is funny if it includes the word bottom. I forbid you from saying the word bottom. Bottom? Asked Larka, her face beaming with a cheeky grin. Yes, bottom. But miss, you just said bottom. Yes, I said bottom, but only to tell you not to say bottom. You just said bottom twice. Stop saying bottom, said Klomp, stamping her foot in frustration. Stomp. The rotten wood beams on the jetty creaked under her. Creak! To steady herself, Klomp slammed her hand down hard on the girl's shoulder. Thump! Miss! What now? What's the difference between teachers and sweets? I don't know, and I don't care. Children like sweets. Put a sock in it! My mum and dad taught me that you have to laugh, even in the worst of times. Well, they aren't here, are they? So not another word. Larka bowed her head sorrowfully. Every day her heart ached because her parents were gone forever. That's why she loved cracking jokes all the time. She knew sadness and didn't want others to feel sad too. It made her happy to make other people happy. Just then, a long wooden rowing boat emerged from the fog that draped over the water like a ghostly curtain. Aha! Right on time, said Clomp, checking her watch. Every night at midnight, the Cruel School boat came to collect the latest naughty children. Rowing the boat was a mysterious hooded figure. Larka gasped. Frightened, are you? Purred Clomp. No, lied Larka. Just feeling burptastic. Then she forced out a little burp. Burp! That's got it, she added, thumping her chest. No, I am really looking forward to it. I can't wait. The Cruel School. It sounds such fun. Just one tiny thing. Yes? Will I be there long? Clomp grinned ghoulishly. Just the rest of your life. And that's the end of our first chapter. I think we have time maybe for one more chapter. Let's have a go. The Last Laugh. I beg your pardon, Miss Clomp, sputtered Larka. I think you said I would be there for the rest of my life. Am I planning to live for a long time? The naughtiest children used to come back from the Cruel School when they weren't naughty anymore, replied the wicked teacher. But now, no one ever leaves. I will have to escape then. Escape is impossible. Nothing is impossible, said Larka. And at that moment the Cruel School boat arrived at the end of the jetty. The hooded figure on board threw a rope out to Miss Clomp. The teacher caught the end of it and tied it to the jetty. Then the mysterious figure held out his long bony fingers and grabbed Larka's wrist. The boatman's fingers were strangely cold to touch. Thoughts flashed through Larka's mind of making a run for it or even a swim for it. But now, with both of Clomp's hands on her shoulders guiding her into the boat, it was hopeless. Larka had never been on a boat before and immediately felt ill at ease as it rocked to and fro. This feeling of deep unease wasn't helped by the fact that the boatman's face remained hidden under the hood. A long bony finger gestured for the girl to sit at the bow of the boat. So long, Larka, scoffed Clomp from the jetty. This is what happens to naughty children who put whoopee cushions on the headmistress's chair. For the last time, miss, it wasn't me. I know, replied the teacher with a smirk. How do you know? Because it was my whoopee cushion, chirped Clomp, holding up the little red balloon. Clomp! Screamed the girl. Why? I wanted you and your larks banished from our school forever. But this time I will have the last laugh. With that, Clomp squeezed the whoopee cushion and it made its naughty noise. Pfft. Ha ha! Laughed Clomp. You got the blame. The boatman gestured for the rope to be untied from the jetty. Let me, chirped Larka, her eyes flashing with mischief. She fiddled with the rope before calling out, all done. And Miss Clomp, yes? I always have the last laugh. The boatman began rowing away, but the rope was still attached. It yanked hard on the jetty. Yank! The jetty broke, snap, and collapsed into the sea. Splosh! It took Miss Clomp with it, plunging her into the cold water. Splosh! Ah! She cried as she began to scramble back onto the collapsed jetty. Ha ha! I told you so, hooted Larka. The boatman seemed unmoved by all of this and continued rowing out into the inky sea. In no time, the mainland disappeared into the thick fog. A shiver slithered down the girl's back. Was she going to be at the Cruel School forever? She had to escape. Larka had never learned to swim, but she was prepared to risk it. Now was the time. The longer she left it, the further she would have to swim back to the land. Her heart was racing. Boom, boom, boom. She leaped to her feet and then leaped off the boat into the sea. Splosh! Ah! She gasped in shock at hitting the freezing cold water. Frantically, Larka began doggy paddling away from the boat in what she hoped would be the direction of the jetty. However, she'd barely had time to thrash around, drowning, when she noticed something powering through the water, heading straight towards her. Larka recognized that fin. It could only be one thing. A shark. Okay, so in our next video, we'll be reading Chapter 3 onwards, Circling Fins. I hope you enjoyed today's first reading of David Williams's new story, Mega Monster. And I look forward to reading some more with you next time. Okay, bye for now.